One of the reasons you're here today is to hear that we are extremely dissatisfied with Russia. I am personally dissatisfied, but we will discuss this, perhaps, another day. We are very, very dissatisfied. If we don't reach an agreement within 50 days, we will impose very strict tariffs. The tariffs will be at the level of 100%. This is what you would call secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today, we're going to talk about something else. As you know, we have spent about $350 billion on this war between Russia and Ukraine, and we want it to end. This is not my war, this is Biden's war. This is not my war, I'm trying to get you out of it. We want to see it finished. I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought an agreement would be reached 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to be happening. Therefore, based on this, we will impose secondary tariffs if an agreement is not reached within 50 days. The tariffs will be 100%, and that's how it will be. It couldn't be simpler. I hope we won't have to do that. But regardless of that, we are creating the best military equipment in the world, including missiles. You recently saw this in Iran, how those planes hit their targets. All 14 bombs hit exactly. Then the helicopters launched a total of 30 bombs, 30 missiles, and they hit. Mark, that's right, every target. The success was, on a scale from 0 to 10, about 15. That's how successful it was. The operation was. That's how deadly it was. A word that's often used today. It was a stunning, perfectly organized attack that people in our country had wanted to carry out for 24 years. When we met with the pilots last week, they said, "Sir, we've been practicing this scenario for 24 years. What they mean is that it wasn't just them, but other people, who are now a bit older, who practiced these actions, but they did too. And it was you who allowed us to do this. We trained 3 or 4 times a year for 22 to 24 years. Because everyone understood that Iran did not stop trying to create nuclear weapons, a nuclear bomb. And we did it very successfully. We create the best equipment, the best missiles, the best overall. European countries know this. And today we signed an agreement. Now I'll ask Mark to comment, according to which we will supply them with weapons and they will pay for it. The United States will not pay for the supplies. We are not buying this, but we will produce it and they will pay. Our previous meeting a month ago was successful. At that time, they agreed to 5%, which amounts to more than $1 trillion in a year. They have a lot of money. These are wealthy countries. They have enough resources and they want to do this. They feel a strong interest in it, and so do we. But we have invested a huge amount of money, and we just don't want to or can't anymore. But we are creating the best, and we will supply the best to NATO. And in some cases, perhaps at Mark's suggestion, we will send missiles to Germany for
an early stage.
And they will be replaced, and NATO will take everything under control. This will be coordinated by NATO. And they will work closely with Matt Whitaker, who is here. He is an excellent ambassador, and Matt will handle coordination. I'll manage, Matt will coordinate. He is a very talented person. He will take care of the overall coordination.
In a nutshell,
we will produce top-class weapons that will be supplied to NATO. NATO may decide to send some of these weapons to other countries, where we can achieve greater efficiency, where the country will free up some resources. And this will be in the form
of replacement and...
Now I'll ask Mark. He is extremely respected, quite a young man, quite young, considering the
career that
he has built since it was outstanding, even before he came to
NATO.
Please.
Mark, a few words. Mr. President, dear Donald, this is something significant. You called me on Thursday and told me that you had made a decision. And the essence of the decision is that you want to provide Ukraine with everything it needs to maintain its resilience and ability to defend itself against Russia. At the same time, you don't want Europeans to pay for it. And that makes perfect sense. This continues the tremendous success of the NATO summit, including the decision about 5% and the decision to maintain and increase Ukraine's defense strength.
Industrial production.
Based on this, Europe then took the initiative, and now it is taking
this again.
I've contacted numerous nations. I can say that at the moment, Germany is participating in this on a large scale, but also Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and Canada. Everyone wants to be part of this process. And this is just the first wave, there is more to come. What we will do is work through NATO mechanisms to know exactly what Ukraine needs and to form appropriate aid packages. Of course, this morning we discussed it with Pete Hegseth at the Pentagon. The United States will maintain its strategic reserves necessary for
the defense of the country.
Ukraine will be able to receive a huge amount of military equipment, including air defense systems, missiles, and ammunition. If I were Putin and heard your speech, what would you intend to do? In 50 days, I would seriously consider whether it is worth treating the negotiations on Ukraine more responsibly than now.
But if...
To speak from Ukraine's point of view, that's great news. It means that the Europeans will bear the costs. We will cooperate with all these countries. And as you yourself said, this could also mean that countries will quickly transfer equipment to Ukraine, and then the United States will replenish their stocks. Because speed is crucial in this case.
Thank you very much. You did a great job. We have made significant progress in resolving military conflicts between India and Pakistan, Rwanda and Congo. It lasted
30 years.
India, by the way, with Pakistan, would have been drawn into a nuclear war within a week. Judging by how things were developing, everything was going very badly, and we resolved it through trade. I said we won't negotiate trade with you until you resolve this issue, and
they resolved it.
They had outstanding strong leaders. They were both magnificent. But Rwanda and Congo, this went on for 30 years. At least 7 million people were killed with brutal weapons like machetes. People were beheaded. This went on for many years. It was impossible to even approach these countries. No one wanted to get close. It was terrifying, and we solved this issue, Serbia and Kosovo. We resolved that too. This conflict was inevitable. And again, we used
trade.
I used trade in many matters, and it's a great tool for settling wars. We are working. Mark is working very actively with all the participants. Regarding the Gaza sector, I call it the Gaza sector. One of the worst real estate deals in all of history. They gave up the coastal territory, one of the most disastrous deals. Peace was supposed to come, but it didn't. What came instead was
the exact opposite.
But on gas, we have pretty good results. Steve Witkoff
is here today.
I think it will be soon.
Something to discuss.
We have resolved another issue between Armenia and Azerbaijan. It seems we are close to a successful conclusion. We have been working on the situation with Egypt and its neighbor.
A good neighbor?
They are my friends, but they built a dam that blocked the water flowing into the Nile. I think if I were Egypt, I would want there to be water in the Nile. We're working on this issue. It's serious, but we'll solve it. It's one of the largest dams in the world, just outside of Egypt. Have you heard about it? It became a big problem. I don't know, but maybe the United States financed this dam. I don't understand why they didn't solve the problem before building it. But it's nice when the Nile River is full. It's the most important source of life and income. It is
the life of Egypt.
And to deprive the country of the Nile is astonishing. But we think that we will solve this issue very quickly. We bring real benefits. The only thing we haven't achieved yet is an agreement with Russia. I'm not satisfied. And I'll tell you, Ukraine wants to take some action again. This is a war that should never have started. If I had been president, it wouldn't have started. I often discuss this with President Putin. Ukraine was his apple on a golden platter. But when I saw what was happening, I said it looked like there would be a war. I was out of politics after the elections, which
were rigged.
I was watching from
the sidelines and I
realized it would lead to war. I couldn't believe it, because Biden said exactly the opposite of what was needed.
Needed to be said.
And it all started, and this is real chaos. According to my estimates, about 5,000 or 6,000 people die every day. Now it's even more. I used to say 5,000 a day, now it's more. Mostly soldiers, but also many civilians in cities and towns that are being hit. This is a terrible war, and it needs to be stopped. And if an agreement is not reached within 50 days, we will impose secondary tariffs, and they will be significant. I hope it doesn't come to that. But all I hear is talk, just talk. And then missiles hit Kiev and kill 60 people. This has to stop. This has to stop. The main thing is, we have reached a very important agreement. The discussion revolves around buying billions of dollars in military equipment from the United States and providing it to NATO and other allies. All of this will be promptly delivered to the battlefield, and Ukraine will receive it. And, say what you want, but when the war started, Ukraine didn't have any
chance.
And even if it had the best equipment, it still wouldn't have had a chance. Because we make the best planes and missiles, the best military equipment in the world, without
Exaggeration.
We have new technologies that are so incredible, it's hard to believe. I'm very excited about the Golden Dome project. It will provide reliable protection. We've already started implementation, but someone has to use this equipment. And Ukrainians have fought with remarkable courage and continue to fight, but they are losing in terms of equipment. Russia is demonstrating extremely aggressive actions, especially in recent
weeks, without military rationale. What they are doing is 700 drones a day, missiles, shelling cities. This is not for military purposes. This is to create panic, deprive people of sleep, and strike at peaceful settlements. This means the death of many people, as well as the destruction of infrastructure and entire cities.
Power grids are being destroyed. It will take
Years to restore them.
This will be the next serious
Problem, but
It will take a long time. Many cities are destroyed.
to the ground.
Many residents have left them, but many stayed. Most really stayed. It's amazing. They stay even though a rocket could hit their apartment building, the building they're sitting in, which could collapse right on top of them. They use very massive construction there, without any reinforcement, just thick concrete. All of these are heavy buildings, big heavy buildings, and they collapse like paper. It's incredible to watch all of this happening, to see people dying, so many people. We hope for progress, but for now, we will provide you with everything you need, with quality and in full. Since our last meeting, we have become closer to NATO. We moved from 2% to 5%, even though everyone said it was
Impossible.
Many were paying significantly less. Everyone committed to reaching 2% by the summit. That's absolutely right, and they're conducting themselves very well. I think I've made many friends there. We had several days of intense negotiations. There are great people there. These are leaders of countries, heads of state, many of them.
Great countries.
Some are small, but overall these are very reliable, powerful states and quite successful. Some of them are the most prosperous countries in the world. That's how things stand. We hope this will have an impact on Putin. We want Ukraine to do what it must. Suddenly, they might feel confident, or on the contrary, might not want to act. This is an extremely difficult situation.
Ukraine wants a peace agreement. I think so, yes. And they will remain committed to this. There is no doubt that they want it.
You and I will make sure of this, but you and I will definitely make sure. We will ensure it. I'm sure they'll do what's necessary. Besides, we have certain parameters that are known to both sides. We already know what needs to be done. We want a lasting and eternal peace. Your questions?
Why are you giving more than 15 days?
I think that's actually a very short period. Don't forget, I started working on this issue recently, and it wasn't the focus at first. This is Biden's war. This is the Democratic Party's war, not the Republican Party's, not Trump's war. This is a war that would never
Have happened.
It should never have happened. A lot of people are dying. When the final data comes in, you'll see that the casualty count is significantly higher than what's being reported and what you expect.
A deadly war?
All wars are terrible, but this one is especially so. The numbers will be much higher. Here, a residential building collapses and they say that 2 people received minor injuries. No, many people died. This data will be presented accurately at some point.
Not yet. A deadly war?
I think you will see powerful developments. I really hope so. Secondary tariffs have a very serious effect.
Why are you giving 100 days?
The Republicans are actively working in the Senate, providing us
With full control.
I'm not sure we critically need it, but in any case.
It's good.
Lindsey Graham is making efforts, John Thune and everyone else are also working actively. They are coordinating with Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and in my opinion, they managed to come up with a pretty good bill, which will most likely be easily passed and even supported by the Democrats. There are some amendments in it. I don't want to say that we don't need it. I don't want them to waste their time. Maybe it will turn out to be useful. We'll see. But we can impose secondary tariffs, probably at the level of 100% and without the Senate or the House of Representatives. However, what they are working on could also turn out to be quite effective.
That is, the sanctions will be a separate additional package.
Yes, 500 basically stops mattering after a while. At a certain point, it just doesn't make a difference anymore. 100% serve the same function. I set the level at 100%. I don't know what level they'll end up with. Maybe they'll set it to 100% too, maybe even 500. But they're doing a good job in the House of Representatives, and I think in the House and in the Senate. As you know, they have everything coordinated, and they're ready to finish this as quickly as needed. We're continuing the discussion. By the way, John Thune is supposed to come today. We'll talk in person.
Vladimir Putin misled you.
He misled us.
What will happen next in the coming days?
You will all see soon. We are entering a certain period of time. He might start negotiating. I don't know about you, Mark, but I felt like we made a deal 4 times, and yet we're still discussing how to make it.
He sent no serious representatives to the negotiations. I recall how you, Marco Ruby, and Steve Witkoff started the Istanbul negotiations. Yes, I was also in Turkey then. We put pressure on the Ukrainians to send a high-level delegation to Istanbul, and they did. And then the Russians started telling their version of the story from the year 1250.
We believed, and I believed, that the agreement should have been signed a long time ago. But everything keeps getting delayed again and again, and every night people are dying. A lot of people. By the way, a lot of Russian soldiers are dying, and Ukrainian soldiers too, but especially a lot of Russians.
100,000 Russian servicemen since January 1st, 100,000 Russian soldiers killed. If someone in Moscow is listening, again, 100,000 Russians have died since January. This is what President Putin is doing right now.
What kind of missiles are you planning to send to Ukraine?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Patriots, all the weapons, Patriots, all the weapons. A full set with launchers. Several systems will arrive very soon, literally within a few days. Because some countries that have Patriots are ready to exchange them, and we will replace them with the ones we have. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and NATO will handle the coordination, so everything will begin
very soon. Today in the afternoon, the German Defense Minister, Boris Pistorius, is coming to Pitt Hexet. We will discuss this topic, the topic of Patriots. Norway is also involved in this, so we are talking about Patriots. But the whole deal concerns both missiles and ammunition.
We also have one country that has 17 Patriot systems at its disposal, ready to be sent. We are planning to make an agreement under which all 17 or a part of them will be sent to the combat zone. And this can be implemented quickly. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Subtitles created by